Hello, this is a brief follow-up video. This weighting problem we had on this wonderful Bechstein Model 4 grand piano, which we love restoring these, but we had several problems, and this is follow-up to a previous video. I'm zeroing in on the weighting here. Just before we look at that, I omitted to show you a telltale sign that the piano has been used a lot, which we've seen in other videos, I know, but this is so obvious. You can see this pedal here not used so much. That's the Unicorda pedal, and this one used a lot more, and you see how it's worn, angled. Now you think how much time it would take to angle metal like that. Bechstein do tend to wear through. You can see it'll wear through eventually there. Do get Bechsteins, particularly some uprights, which are more cheaply made pedals, wear through here, and other makes too. That's a telltale sign that the piano has been used a lot, needed restoration. Now if you refer to the previous video, you'll remember that the weighting was extremely high, I think up to 70 or even more grams. This down weight now is about 52 grams, and if we tuck the bottom with my foot on the pedal here, then we can see it's going down, so that's encouraging. That's the right sort of weight. Let's see what the up weight is like. So if I push it down, take coins off, it's not going up yet. Now, it was going up there with about 40 grams, 30 grams. Let's have a look. So it's going to go up 30 grams. So it's also improved the up weight. Now we haven't managed to get it as spot on accurate as we'd like, because there are so many problems, but we'll show you the solution we came up with, and thank you to all those who contributed on the previous video with ideas. And before that, I should show you some of the others that evenly weighted throughout. We haven't managed to get it 100% even, and we'll show you why in a minute. Let's put that on F sharp, bottom F sharp. So as much as possible. Sorry, I haven't ever got the right weight on there. No, I haven't got the right. Yes, I have. I've got the two. I was looking for the 20p coin. It's in the middle there. Oh, there we are. So, and then the up weight. Let's have a look at the up weight on that. Yeah, again, the up weight is pretty good. Actually, I wanted to take that one off and put that there. Whoops. I'm sorry. I'm having to leave quite soon. I've got to go away. So this piano is going out later today. So I'm in a bit too much of a hurry. Apologies for that. Now on the previous video we saw that the action was almost impossible to push in out. I had to push it with my legs, and that was really difficult, but now with one hand I can push it in. So it's much more pleasant to work on now. Now the main reason it was hard to get in and out is that it had a fearsome spring here, and now this is the right weight spring, so it's easy to use the Unicorda pedal as well. Actually sometimes the Unicorda pedal is difficult to use when the spring is too I get some pianos that it's very hard to use the Unicorda because the spring is too strong, and some Steinways, we've looked at this before, all Steinways have a spring this way, which is a nuisance, and so we tend to try and weaken that again to get the action in and out more easily, and also to facilitate a lighter Unicorda pedal. Now I can smell that somebody's used Pledge on this, which is correct. Well, some sort of furniture type polish to make it smoother, make it easier to get the action in and out. It's the best way we've found to again to make it pleasant to work on as a technician. Now please refer to the previous video because I didn't have a lot of time today, but you could see that the rocker system's been replaced with an ordinary capstan system, and in so doing they've also changed this lever, which is we never do. We keep the original Bechstein lever and just fit this this little heel on separately, as you'll see from the other video. This is I said it was a Steinway lever because it looked like one to me, and I mentioned that it's not my job normally to replace these. My colleague, who goes on all Renner courses, and as many as we can go on, he goes, takes one other technician normally with him, so we need to learn as much as we can. But it was a combination. This isn't a Steinway lever, that's what I should have said. It's a generic Renner lever, but it looks like a Steinway lever. At least it looks a lot more like a Steinway lever than a Bechstein lever, as you'll see in the other video. But the new Steinway levers are slightly different. I'm sorry I don't have one here to show you. They're in our main shop, but try and show you that later on. It's very similar, and it fooled me because I say my normal job is sort of fine regulation voicing and testing the pianos, and I'm trying to get as good at that as I possibly can. My colleague I trust to do all the technical work and to train the staff for that. So this lever then is a generic Renner lever. It looks like a Steinway in many respects, and it certainly doesn't look like a Bechstein lever. And that was one of the problems. And it's the also he said that the shank, the length, the angles, the measurement, all these kind of geometry things that technicians look into, the positioning of the capstan. And apparently, putting on these capstans, which weren't there in the first place, they're not all on in exactly the same place. A couple of millimeters makes a difference. So thank you for your comments, those who've commented on that on the other video. And we found we weren't able to do the weighting as accurate as we wanted to, because of the fact that really there's a combination of everything. When a piano is restored, it's surprisingly important to get everything exactly right, hammer weight, and then this is very important. I don't want to forget to mention it. Good, we can see there. You see the back weight there has been taken out. So to compensate for the fact that the lever, maybe the hammers, the angle here was incorrect, the way it was compensated for, we managed to take one weight out of the back there to make it lighter. Because I did mention in the previous video there wasn't enough space in some of the keys at the front to add extra weights, so that's something I hadn't thought of, that you'd be able to take weights out of the back. You can see that's not my area of expertise, but so it's been weighted now correctly, but obviously you couldn't get it as accurately as you wanted to. But I'm very pleased with the result. Actually, the client didn't want to spend a fortune redoing the whole action, which is basically what my colleague said would need doing. So we have managed, thankfully, to get it really quite playable. We haven't had time to voice the piano, as you'll see in a minute. Sorry, I should have made it more clear, perhaps, that you can see these leads here. Well, the very back one there has been taken out and plugged with wood to lighten it off, and that's been done right down the keyboard where it's been possible. So now the keyboard feels excellent to play. It does need voicing, you can hear there. Now the problem is that again with voicing, the hammers haven't all been put on exactly straight, and some of them are saying, for instance, that if they're a slight angle like that or like that, then they'll hit hitting one of the strings before the other strings, or hitting two of them before the third one, and as a result that needs to, you can hear that's weak, and it could well be because it's not hitting all three strings exactly together. So there's a combination of things here really that need doing. We've solved the problem of them hitting the frame up here, but there's a lot to do, and voicing particularly now. And strangely enough, when voicing's not quite right, it makes the touch feel not right. So voicing's the next stage really. But we've been working on a budget, and I think we're all probably almost over budget on the job already. But I'm encouraged actually to have been able to get round the problem. You see the regulation is working, but it's not 100% as we'd like it to be. My colleague said, where do I stop? Because we were over budget, we were doing more work than we just couldn't stop the work because we wanted to get it like one of our pianos, but obviously it's very costly to do that, time consuming. But there's a lot of potential in this piano. I think the bass strings are excellent, one of the best. And of course these Model 4s do have a wonderful bass. We have a Model 3 in stock, and that has a wonderful bass. These bass strings are as good as any that I've come across. They're perhaps slightly short here. Normally good string makers try and make this maybe slight, but really that's just unnecessary criticism in a way, because it does sound good. Sounds excellent, nice and warm as you'd expect a Model 3 Bechstein or Model 4 Bechstein to sound. So that's a follow-up video for this problem we've tried to solve with the weighting on this piano, and many comments made on the first video that I'd love you to listen to. I'll try and put a link at the bottom. Now the voicing is, having got the weighting right, it really does show up the voicing round here. Bechstein's round here can be a bit weak. Again, we would have recapped the bridge, which would have made all the difference. even with recapping the bridge, you can get a slight variety of tone here, but it's going to be difficult to voice it in to make it sound very even. But there's lots of promising things on the piano, and so I'm really pleased that my colleague's been able to get the weighting much better than I expected. You can hear the hardness of some of the hammers here. Thank you very much for listening.